Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here. And before we get started, make sure that you go on and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're able to know of all new content as it is posted. Jumping right in, as we hear Democrats crying and moaning and gnashing their teeth over the blatantly racist and punishing tariffs that Donald Trump threatened Mexico with if they don't join us in the fight to end illegal immigration, Mexico seems to have stopped taking the Democratic National Committee's orders. Because if reports are to be believed, on Thursday they deployed troops to their southern border. If reports are to be believed, they've already turned back another caravan that was, I believe, from Honduras. They are working with us and offering concessions. And this is what honestly needs to happen. Mexico has been hurt far more than the U.S., although we're approaching parity. Because if you look at Tijuana, you look at Ciudad Laredo, you look, Juarez, Nuevo Laredo, you look at all of these border towns where people are basically camping out, screaming and gnashing of teeth about why they can't just waltz into our country, smiling and saying asylum as they walk by, as if it's a wizarding incantation that makes them immune to all of our laws. It's not how any of that works, by the way. But none of this is making national headlines, except from people like Sean. Of course, CNN, MSNBC, CBS News, CNBC, ABC, all of them, silent on this. Other than, at least on this, although they are continuing their hand-wringing about how Trump's racist tariffs are going to make it all but impossible for you to buy a car. Not mine. You see, one, I can live with the car I have for several years. Two, used cars will not be affected. Car parts, minimally, if any, effect. I can go decades without ever having another avocado. But none of this is ever brought up because the liberal media cannot stand that they're finally showing their hand and people are realizing that they don't care about the truth. They don't care about actual justice. They care about control. Another part of this that is being looked at is the revamping of the asylum situation. You see, until now, Mexico has basically either turned a blind eye or claimed, hey, they want asylum in your country. We got to let them go. No, you don't. See, Mexico, you're a sovereign nation, too. All the way back when Spain came, and thanks to being pretty much immune to the diseases of the world, or at least of Spain, sorry about that, they were able to conquer the Inca, the Aztec, and the Maya, and set up a new country. So Mexico needs to step up and say, I'm sorry, no. Our people come before those who just barge in. If someone barged into your house, would you feed them before your children? No. Someone barges into your home, you're going to call the police. You jump over the wall at Alyssa Milano's manor or Midler's estate, or Obama's for that matter, any of them decrying this, and you're going to go to jail for a long time. And you're going to suffer because they're going to rightly point out, this is my home. You don't just barge in. You don't jump the wall. You come to the door and knock. I do apologize about this. It is allergy season. But that is all any of these policies are. Quit breaking in through the open window or through the closed window. Come to the door and knock. And part of this is going to be the asylum situation. You see, the word asylum is not an incantation from Hogwarts. You don't walk up to the border, wiggle your fingers, smile and say asylum and keep walking in. You have to prove you have a valid reason for requesting asylum, and I can't find a job I like is not a reason for one. It's just not. But I'll tell you another thing. You see, Mexico has finally started to step up and enforce their own laws. They really should have been doing this for a long time, because if someone breaks into your country and then you smile and say, okay, well, we'll forget that. Here's a humanitarian visa to live in my country and get a job in my country. Somebody says, no, I'm going to the U.S. You turn them around and say, no, you're going home. You can go back to your country, go to the U.S. Embassy in your country, and request permission to go to the U.S. legally. Anyone truly fleeing oppression or violence or whatever, they're going to grab that humanitarian visa and probably tearfully thank you for it. And then if they say, but I really need to go to the U.S., and you say, well, the embassy is in this city, go that way, or let's get you to the embassy, they're going to do it. This is what none of the mainstream media people will talk about. They won't talk about the fact that you can go to Tegucigalpa, you can go to Guatemala City, you can go to Mexico City, and you can go to our embassy or any of our consulates anywhere else, and you can report that you are in danger and need asylum. And they will, at the very least, get you to the person that needs to hear that, if not hear it then and there. You see, we're not a heartless country. In fact, our country has been the heart and soul of a lot of humanitarian movements. But we are a nation of laws, and they need to be upheld, starting with come into the country legally. Unfortunately, due to Democrat policies, the TSA is not even requiring identification from illegals, flying them all over the country on our dime, which apparently includes a group from Africa that may actually be infected with Ebola. And they're now in San Antonio. I am very close to declaring this the start of the Revelation end times, because we're seeing the pale horse. We're seeing the plagues all but come back. And the only thing that would make it more clear to me would be for an AOC or a Pelosi or a Waters to stand up and say, disease helps us fight climate change. People need to die so that there's fewer humans. That's the only thing left that would make me think, all right, this is the biblical end times and the plagues have started. I just don't understand how people who live behind walls and heavily armed guards can look American citizens in the eyes and tell them, tear down your walls, let everybody walk into your home, give up your guns because you don't need them. Although we have actually had a Democrat say they're more worthy of security than you. It's been a few years and he was an idiot, and he's gone now, but still. We're now to the point where they admit, I deserve security, you don't. We had one, I believe Mississippi, or it might have been another state down here, actively support abortion by saying either kill them now or kill them later. And the mainstream media is silent. We've needed a border wall for longer than I've been alive. 1981, the Democrats promised that if Ronald Reagan signed an amnesty bill, he'd get a wall. Here we are 48 years later, and Donald Trump is having to build it. Donald Trump is going to veto their amnesty crap if it manages to pass the Senate. They're going to cry that he is required to sign their bills. They're going to try to impeach him for vetoing them. They're going to fail. The wall is going to be built. And they're going to have exposed themselves as the anti-American, obey me, I am your God party. And I don't know, maybe it'll be a good thing. We'll get down to where we have Democrats from California, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, and New York. Maybe a few from Maine and Massachusetts. But we'll get down to where they are 25 to 30% of either house or less. Of course, at that point, they'll cry about the tyranny of the majority, blocking their bills. Although that might actually make for some good TV, that when you can have someone say, I am one of 20 people in a 100-member body. I deserve to have my bill passed. No, you don't. But I don't know. I've talked about this long enough. Let me know what you think. As always, keep it civil. We don't learn from an argument, only from debate. As always, please remember to like and share this video, as well as to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know of all new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.